Hello children, today we'll understand the lesson 2.5 Let's March. First and foremost, what is the meaning of March? So March is a march past during 15th August, 26th January in the assembly that we do in the school. The march past at Red Fort on 15th August and Republic Day. And the month of March. But what is this march over here? This march is agitation or protest towards or against child labor. This is a speech by Kailash Satyarthi. He is an advocate and an activist against child labor. He founded the Bachpan Bachao Andolan in 1980. He has been honored with many awards, including Nobel Peace Prize of 2014. And he has addressed this speech on the eve of Nobel Prize distribution ceremony. So he is addressing to the audience who are sitting in front of him when he was receiving an award. So towards what he has worked? He has worked against child labor, that is slavery, trafficking, child marriage, sexual abuse, and illiteracy. So he has been working for the protecting the rights of children. He had come across a very small boy that was nearly 20 years ago at the foothills of Himalayas. He found there a very small, skinny child laborer. And the child is asking Kailash Satyarthi, "Is the world so poor that it cannot give me a toy and a book instead of forcing me to take a gun or a tool?" That means a very small child has been forcibly given a gun but not a toy to play, whereas his age was to play with the toys. So the child here is asking, is the country so poor that they cannot afford to give toys to the children? Next he meets a Sudanese child soldier. Now he was kidnapped by an extremist militia. As his first training lesson, he was forced to kill his friends and family. So his question is, what is my fault? What is my fault that I am forced or I was forced to kill my friends and family? So this is how the Kailash Satyarthi has started his speech to the audience. And moreover, he keeps one chair empty next to him. So people, they wonder that why he has kept this chair empty. So he says that it gives me a reminder that the children all around the world are waiting for we to go and protect them and save them from exploitation. It is said that the great religions, they teach the children. Jesus said, "Let the children come to me, do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to them." The Holy Quran says, "Kill not your children because of poverty." So we can see here that how the children are being deprived from education, how they are being exploited, how they are being trafficking. Trafficking means, like we can say, selling of children from one country to another, from one place to another. That means we are shattering the dreams of the children. Always the children, they should have their childhood full of fun and frolic. But here, almost everywhere, the scenario is that these children are into child labor. They are working as slaves. We also see the child marriages. We also see around us the sexual abuse. we also see the children being deprived of education. They are not being provided proper education. They are not sent to schools. Instead, they are sent to the workplace where they can work and bring so that they can afford 2 times meal. So the writer here is also saying that once when he was a child and when he used to go to school, what did he see there? Every day he saw the cobbler near the school or outside the gate of the school. And the cobbler's son was also there. So this Kailas Satyarthi, he questioned his teachers that why that boy is not in the school as we are. The teachers did not have the answer for this. So one day he asked the cobbler that why your son is not into the school. The cobbler says, I think we are born only to work. We are born only to work. So that moment, this answer made Kailas Satyarthi very angry. And it's still today also it makes him angry. So as a child in those days, he had a vision of tomorrow. He always had a vision. Vision means here it is foresighted. So he had a vision that the cobbler boy sitting with him in the classroom. That means he always dreamt that today this cobbler's son has been deprived of education. He is not attending school. So he had the vision that tomorrow, now today becomes tomorrow, that tomorrow he will work for that. He will see to it that no child is deprived from education and every child will be literate. So that today, that means that day it was today for him. But for him, the vision was for tomorrow. So he says that today it is time for every child to have a right to life, right to freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to dignity, right to equality, and right to peace. So he sees that in that darkness also he sees the smiling faces of the children. He wants to see the children roaming about, playing around in the garden, on the mountains. And whereas he is questioning the audience that where are the government, where are the NGOs, where are the business people, where are the agencies, where are the leaders, where are the workers, and where are the teachers. So they all should come together and work for this child labor. And he is also telling that what we lack in our society is, that is compassion. Because every time it is like, he is not mine, that child is not mine. But whereas if we think over deeply, then every child is our child. So if we are to teach real peace in this world, we shall have to begin with the children. These were the words said by Mahatma Gandhi. He says, if we are to teach real peace in this world, we shall have to begin with the children. He also questions the audience. Whose children are they who stitch footballs yet never played with one? There are many who are stitching footballs, but did those children ever play with a football? No. Then whose children are they who harvest cocoa yet have never tasted chocolate? Whose children are they who are kidnapped and held hostage? Yes, they are our children. We should have that kind of compassionate towards each and every child of the world. Here he remembers an 8-year-old girl. She was rescued from intergenerational forced labor from stone quarries. And the moment when she was rescued and when she sat next to the writer, she asked him very angrily, why did you not come earlier? Is what she was trying to tell. She was an 8-year-old girl. Now, see the question put up by her. When she was rescued, when she was saved from there, she said, why could you not come earlier? That means her 8 years of life have been shattered. 8 years of her dreams as a child, as a childhood, that happy-go-lucky child with the fun and with the cheerful, the happiness, all she has lost. So, what does her question? Was the question only to Kailas Satyarthi? No. He says this question has been put up to the entire world, to all over, to each and every one, that what are we doing sitting over here? How many girls will be allowed to go without rescue? Children are questioning our inaction and watching our actions. So every child is looking at us with hope. Every child is seeing our actions, what we are doing. So here comes the collective action. Every single minute matters. Every single child matters. Every single childhood matters. That is what we have to think about. Of course, we have come a long way. We have come a long way where we have saved many of them, but still this problem or this question is still there in the world. It has not been eradicated completely. Now, there is also one story which he wants to tell us, and he says that a heavy fire had broken out in the forest. All the animals were running away. Almost all the animals, the lion, the king of the forest, was also running away. And suddenly the lion sees a tiny bird rushing towards the fire. So the lion asked the bird, "What are you doing?" What did the bird reply? The bird replied, "I am going to extinguish the fire." The lion laughed and said, "How can you do it, keeping just one drop of water in your beak?" The bird was adamant and she said, "I am doing my bit." So here we learn a lot from this one little bird. She was carrying a drop of water in her beak and trying to extinguish the fire. That means here we cannot blame that he is not coming, she is not coming, what I can do alone. But definitely if I start this with from me, from one person, definitely it's going on extending. It will go on extending, and one by one everybody will come together. That is known as a team effort. So each and every one thinks like a bird. Definitely we can eradicate this problem. Also, how we have been eradicating many of the problems which our country has faced from last so many years. So we must be bold, we must be ambitious, and we must have the will. So if we have the will, then definitely everything can be done, because nothing is impossible. We must keep our promises. So here, when he ends the speech, he says, "My dear sisters and brothers, as I said, many interesting things are happening today. May I please request you to put your hand close to your heart, close your eyes and feel the child inside you. I'm sure you can. Now listen to that child. Listen, please. Today I see thousands of Mahatma Gandhis, Nelson Mandelas and Martin Luther Kings calling on us." So he says that in every child we can see Mahatma Gandhis, Nelson Mandelas and Martin Luther Kings. That is the great persons, great personalities we can see in each and every child. They have the dream and they can, as nothing is impossible, everything can be done. But when it can be done, only we are one. We should have compassion for that. We should be humane for that. Then only there will be a clear vision that tomorrow it will be like free from child labor. Our country should be completely eradicated. How we eradicated the smallpox, the plague, many diseases had come, and that time people have come together and worked on it. So definitely even this issue, social issue, also can be solved. So the vision for tomorrow should be no corruption, no poverty. It should touch the hearts and emotions. So he says, let us march from exploitation to education, march from poverty to prosperity, march from slavery to liberty, march from violence to peace, march from ignorance to awakening, darkness to light, and mortality to divinity. So that is known as let's march. That means we all should come together and protest and work against this issue. Thank you.